Hi guys, welcome to Worth Living. My name is Gamo, and today I'm continuing to chat with gentlemen, young men out there, on the series where we are trying to, talk about the things that I really think are pertinent to our development and the mission to make our societies better societies in the future. Right. So, as I said, talking to young men is something really close to my heart, and it's not to say, all of you young women out there or women out there cannot listen to the conversations that we are having on this show specifically. So, I remember I said on the other episode, we know that you are raising young men. We have young men in your families. So please be our guest if you have the time to listen as well. Okay, before we start, please note that none of our videos constitute as professional counseling or advice. If you need to see a professional, if there's an issue that you need to talk to a professional about, please do go and see a professional. The conversations that we have on this channel are just the experiences that we have in our personal lives that we think can really start, impacting people in our circle, people that we have a conversation like this with, as we learn from you and you learn from us, right? So I want to talk about, something very interesting. Well, all our topics are always interesting, right? But something around the lines of the dangers of being idle. Okay, you know um so what do I mean by being idle? So a lot of us as young men, growing up in our late teens, really actually from early on in life into our teens and our young adulthood, early 20s, through our early 30s. um, we have a lot of time in our hands, right? So where we are, it's characterized by, it's mostly the schooling, starting your first job, and you don't have a lot of responsibility, so you have a lot of time, as young men, of course, young women as well. But today we're gonna talk, we're talking to gentlemen, right? So now being idle, I'm talking about that of time we have to do anything, because of the stage that we are in. As I said, we don't have a lot of responsibilities, most of us in this age, right? And the dangers that can really come with that, right? So I want to pick up your brain, right? Try to remember a time where you didn't have anything to do, and a time that you were busy working on something, either an assignment, or you had some project at work. So think about the two times, two situations where you had time being consumed by something, and time where you didn't have anything to do, right? And really, when you look back, if you can remember that time, you realize that, you know when you had your time linked or tied to something you are doing, right? Something productive you are doing, it helped you to grow. It helped you to become someone better, right? It helped you to feel fulfilled, compared to the time when you you didn't have anything to do. What happened? Friends came over, they said, what are you doing? I'm not doing anything. You end up, and indulge in things that you didn't plan, or you went on and spent the money that you didn't even budget for, right? So there's a lot of dangers that come with being idle. So whatever you do, make sure that you are never idle, because the time that you are idle, a lot of thoughts can come to your mind. And when you are sitting down and thinking, really pondering on your life, what you want to do, time to yourself, it's not being idle. if it's a time that is purposed for you to really think about what you want to do in the future or plan your stuff, that is not idle time. Idle time is where you're just sitting, you're not doing anything. You wake up on Saturday morning, and you just, for us here, we say you move around with the sun. So when the sun starts this side, you're at the side of the house for the shadow. As the sun moves, you're moving with the shadow. So if you find yourself idle like that, be worried, because what tends to happen is, anything, the approach is that whatever thing comes, I'll go with it. And one thing that is very important for you as a young man is you need to have a vision. Okay. And the time that we lose idle is the time that we could be using to, to really plan and strategize how we're going to get to our vision. But if you don't have a vision, what are you looking forward to achieve? Nothing, right? So until you have a vision to do something, then you can say, um, I'm planning this. I started here. Now I'm here. You see yourself growing, and it's not to say, if you are slower, but slower than someone, then there's something wrong with you. When we stop at a traffic light, as soon as the green light goes, the person driving next to you has nothing to do with where you're going. And that's how life is. Okay. So you need to forget about where other people are going and really focus on yourself. Where do you want to see yourself going? Where do you want to be in life? What is it that you want to achieve in the next 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, right? And the only way for you to do that is to really be involved in doing something, right? So now we live in a society where, a lot of people want to achieve things quickly, right? Everyone is looking for a shortcut, right? I can get money somewhere, and then I get a nice dress, then I can show up at a party looking a certain way. The very common one nowadays, I get a little bit of money, I go for branded clothes so that I look good, and I'm busy posting on Instagram so that people envy you. Does that really fulfill you? Does that really get you anywhere? If you go on YouTube, a lot of videos will show you, the difference in spending between rich and poor people. And it shows that a lot of poor people try to live as rich people. And most of the time, rich people or really wealthy people, you won't notice them by the branded clothes they wear. Okay. And we're busy chasing this. Nonetheless, I digress, right? So I'm still talking about the fact that you need to be busy doing something, right? uh, I remember when I was starting off in my relationship, one of the things that my wife wanted to see or wanted to know was where I am going. I had nothing then. I was just a student when we met. We're both students, right? But she wanted to know, as part of the qualifying points in my life for me to be in her life, was she wanted to see where I'm going, what is my vision. I may not have anything at that time, or I didn't have anything at that time, but at least she wanted to see where is it that I want to go, you know, to see whether I have a plan, some kind of a plan, right? And for her to decide whether she's going to join me and help me to achieve that particular plan. So it's really important for you to have a plan and follow it through. As you move on through life, there's this, every little milestone, you need to celebrate it, because success is not a destination. Success is a journey, right? As you achieve little things in your life, you celebrate them, and it helps you to want to get to that particular goal. It motivates you every time, right? So really avoid being idle. Avoid being idle. A lot of things happen when you're idle. When you're idle, you know, I said it's time for you to floss on Instagram about the things that you don't even have. Great if you have those things, and you really have that life. That is great. But a lot of young people out there, go on Instagram to floss about the things that they don't have. There was a picture that was circulating around. So here in Southern Africa, we use what we call combis, is like mini buses, right, to transport people around. And this is something you don't see, for example, in the States. There, there's yellow cabs that transport people around. There's these fast trains that transport people around. So there was a lady who took a picture of herself. I think it was somewhere in Sandton. So in Sandton, Sandton is like one of the nicest parts of Johannesburg city, right? So she took a picture, and in that picture, she was in a nice building, and right behind her there was a combi passing, and she posted, "I'm in LA right now," something like that, right? And it's because of that pressure to want to show your friends that I'm living the life, to show people back home that you are living the life. And let me tell you something. Showing people that you are living a certain life only gives you, brings you more pressure to continue to maintain that lie, because you lied in the first place. Now you need to maintain that lie, keep on maintaining it. Until when are you going to keep on maintaining it? Next thing that happens in next thing that happens is you start acquiring money in unlawful or criminal ways because of this pressure. So you see a lot of young men that do robberies around, right? Armed robberies. They look for cash, right? And after they get the cash, what happens? They go and show their friends that they have money. They go and floss. And some of them end up being caught because you know, the police and people around wonder where does this guy get the money, right? Just get through that trouble to go and floss and get caught. There's not even a little bit of wisdom in that, right? So avoid the pressure, and I digress again. Avoid the pressure um, of showing off that you have something when you don't. I'm going to discuss later on this series about finances and things that I learned when it comes to money. You know, money needs to be loved, and I heard from a gentleman who was teaching us at work that you need to treat money in a way that you want it to treat you. Right? So, guys, don't be idle. Refuse to be idle. Refuse to be idle. A lot of things go wrong because we are idle. It's the time to experiment with smoking. It's the time to experiment with drinking, indulging yourself, you know, when you're idle. So refuse to be idle. It's very, 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 very dangerous. And you lose a lot of time that you think you have. I was talking to my wife, and we went to a birthday party, and the gentleman was turning 40, right? And we have these conversations, and when we were younger, we thought, oh, we didn't think, we when we saw someone who's 30, they looked really old. And now we look back, we're in that age, or we just past that age, and we don't feel that old, you know because time is flying. Next thing I'm 40, next thing I'm 50. And as time moves, what is it that I am investing my future in? What is it that will help me to live a better life tomorrow? I spend a lot of my youth time, my time at university and senior school, serving God, be involved in the church. I refuse to be idle. And I'm really grateful for that time, because now when I start getting busy at work, uh, going to church is not as easy as it was. When I had a lot of time in my hand. And I'm not saying I'm not going to church, or I was going to church because I had a lot of time. I have a personal relationship with Jesus Christ, and I'm grateful for that, right? But the point is, I had a lot of time earlier on in my life, and I'm grateful that I used it to serve God. And I'll probably never have much time like that ever again, right? I find time there and there. I have responsibility. I've got kids. I've got a family now. So all these things consume your time. So when you have time, learn about Jesus Christ. Learn about the church. You know, learn about business. Learn about the Word of God. uh, get a mentor earlier on in your life. Get someone and that's another thing. For us, to live a better life, for us to go somewhere in life, we need someone who has already been there. Could be your pastor, it could be your older brother, it could be your father, it could be your uncle, it could be your manager, it could be your boss at work, right? Learn from those people. Get a mentor. Don't think, uh, you know, don't think that you don't want other people to tell you what to do. Those people will help you to become who the best that you can become. They are there for that reason. I remember Jim Rohn said, you can always learn from anyone. A 40-year-old man that is sick and broke will teach you a lesson on how to be 40, sick and broke. Have conversations with those people. They will teach you a lot. They will tell you, they will teach you what not to do to be 40, uh, sick, broke, and miserable. They will teach you because they've been there, and they will tell you true stories. And whatever you learn from that should help you to, reconfigure your thinking. Okay, so I should stop doing this. I should stop being idle and use my time to at least invest in something that can put me in a better place tomorrow. Gents, it's high time we stop getting money to show off to ladies so that we get the best ladies. You know, it's high time we stop that. It's a waste of time. It's a total waste of time. You know, it's a total waste of time. It's a total waste of time. Now, I always say, you can never get a perfect person because you are not perfect yourself. It wouldn't be fair for you to get a perfect person. And I think a lot of us young men waste a lot of time saying, I'm looking for the perfect person. Even ladies, you waste a lot of time saying, I'm looking for a perfect person, yet you're not perfect yourself. Why do you deserve a perfect person if you're not perfect? At the end of the day, no one is perfect, right? So this thing, overflows into our career. I'm looking for a perfect career. I'm looking for a perfect marriage. I'm looking for a perfect business opportunity. Just start where you are, my friend. You will discover, you will get better at what you have discovered as time goes on. That's, you know, a colleague of mine. She's an older lady. She used to say, life has no formula. And what essentially that means is, keep trying, keep trying. Don't wait for that perfect time to start. Start now. With a lot of time you have in your hands, start something. Start a little business. Start knocking door to door, selling your services. If you don't have a car, don't sit down and say, I'm waiting for my uncle to borrow me his car. Walk. If it means you should walk, walk. And that will do something to you. You know. All right. So that's what I wanted to share. Just to say, guys, refuse to be idle. Refuse to be idle. Right. So thank you so much for watching this video. Please let the chats continue to roll. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do subscribe. Like if you already subscribed, like and share with your friends. Tell them about what we're talking about. Bring them on. Let's have this conversation. Very soon we'll start having live sessions, myself and Messi, my wife, so that we can delve deeper into these conversations and make life brilliant. So thank you so much, guys. See you soon. Bye.